Hello friends, thanks for joining me. Today is Sunday, assuming I'll get this uploaded tonight. My name is Barb Pask. I'm from Ohio, full-time artist, very prolific. I paint a lot. I paint all subjects. I paint in, I paint out. Today I'm working on an 8x10 Centurion panel, and I just went outside and cut some fresh hydrangeas. I say they're alive, fresh, you know, they're getting to the end of their season. And they're very interesting, I think. You know, all colors. Mine started out more white. Now they look more green, but I see touches of pink in there. Just a beautiful flower, and can be a very complicated flower. A lot of people stay away from flowers because they feel like the subject is too complicated. I consider myself an impressionist, so I tend to try to get the feel of things more than being real particular. You'll never see me doing photorealism. That's just not my thing. But today I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to, even though I normally paint pretty quick anyway, we're going to try to probably not start out with a brush. We're probably going to start out with, I have this rubber knife by Catalyst. I have several in different sizes, but I think that's probably what we're going to lay the paint on with. And might even use this little knife some too. This is Master's Touch, another rubber knife. Of course, I have palette knives. I did something like this recently, and I used paper towels, and I got all the blocking done with paper towels. What I didn't like about that is that that first layer was really thin. So now I'm thinking maybe if we use some knives and we get it on. So my idea is to get the canvas covered with very loose impression of what I see over there. And then come back after we get that blocked in and think about what we need to add to explain what it is we're looking at. So my hope in the end is that we come out with a loose, interesting painting. Okay, so I had mixed up, these basically are green. So I mixed up something that I felt like was kind of mid-tone, you know, without getting too light. I even put a little crimson in there because I see some pink in there. And I don't know how interesting it would be to have green flowers. So we will look through our view catcher. It's not a view catcher, it's a thing by EZL. I have a small one that's actually called a view catcher. This is like a dry erase board, and you can look through it. Come with a marker, you can wipe off. I've been using this more. So I'm going to make a few marks, just placement. I could use any color for that. You know, just an idea of the height of the vase. So this is what I'm thinking. Now, I'm looking at that, I'm feeling like it's a little too bright green, so we'll put a little red in it. We're using this rubber knife, kind of blocking in what we see. I took a workshop, I've talked about it about 4 years ago, with Nancy Frank. Love her stuff, but she'll do a lot of her work with this knife. We watched her demos, and she laid in with the knife what looked, geez, her first pass, I'm telling you, they look like roses with this thing. This is when I bought this after going to her workshop. I know, yeah, I'm just having some fun here. You don't want to get bored. So if it doesn't work. There's a few of them down there on the jar. And it's a square glass container that I've got that too high. That is primarily a gray. There are some areas of it that are pretty dark. So I think we'll just make a gray out of the 3 primaries. Make a green, put some red in, put some white in, so I think rather than, and I could just block the whole shape in just as a square, but I don't think I'll quite do that because I see some areas that are darker and lighter, so we'll kind of darker on the edges, darker on the bottom. Again, we don't want to get too picky because that's a shadow. Just making a gray kind of color. This might be too light. I feel like it is too light. I put on a quick video yesterday. I painted outside and painted this cute little house, and okay, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's some stems in here, some green leaves in there. I do like those. We want to get those in. But this crazy squirrel, after I was there about 15 minutes, it's like he discovered I was down there, and he screamed at me for the whole, I painted at least another hour or more. He never shut up. I thought he was going to attack me. He seemed very aggressive when he first saw me there. I thought, how do I protect myself? I've heard of him throwing nuts and stuff down at people, but I didn't know if he would actually, you know, come for me or... This is my shadow. Let's get some color on the background. We do have a shadow back there behind the flowers. This is, you know, obviously very much like palette painting, except this thing's flexible, very flexible. So you can kind of mix your paint on the canvas with it. It's fun. Today's beautiful, and I probably should be out today because my days are numbered for painting outside, but we don't want to cover up all our tone. So when we get this on, it hopefully will just be kind of a vague suggestion of what's over there. You know, and we can use our knife to scrape some off in the end too. Looks like a butterfly. Now that you see that, you cannot unsee it, right? It's funny. It's true with abstract paintings. You know, if you see something in them, you forever see it, I think. We've got it. One gal in our one group that paints abstract, and another gal, she's funny. She just has to see something real in it. It's like there's really nothing there. Oh no, she always finds something in it. It's funny. All right, there's a suggestion of what's over there. You know, loose, we want it loose. All right, now we could do a lot of things. We could, you know, carve in, make these feel more like hydrangeas. I think what we'll do at this point is now we'll start thinking about what we need to do to explain what it is we're looking at. We're going to have to go over everything again, but I think we'll start with the hydrangeas. First, look back in there and see if I see anything that's darker than I have it. And we may switch to our smaller palette knife. Down in here is darker. Cut that down a little bit. I do like the feel of this stupid little thing. Whatever we put on with this thing, we'll end up mixing up into there anyway. I'm looking for darks. Again, this side's a little darker. Let's get a little more crimson in there. It's really pretty because I do see a lot of those pinks in here. my plan is to not over-explain anything here. And we'll want to go over the background again before we start pulling out, you know, too far. And again, we can pull them out into that space once we get some, get that repainted back there. I'm going away next week on the 10th. I probably might have told you this, going to paint with a group, the Tuesday group that I paint with. We go away every year in October, usually October. And this year we're going to Hillsboro, Ohio, which is just a small community. It's a county seat over there, but there's farms, there's, you know, buildings in town, and so yeah, I'm excited. I love it every year because that's what you do. You go to paint, and that's all you do. We paint, we spend the day out painting, then we meet for critique, and we go out to dinner. And we do it the next day. It's really fun. Can't see many of the stems because of these leaves. But see, that's one thing we can do with this tone. You know, we can cut back to the pink, which I think is fun, you know, expose that and use that as a stem even. So let's get the background done so we can, you know, do what we need. Hey, let's do this first, just cause it's fun. I'm looking over here for reflections. I've got, as usual, I got too many lights here, so I got overhead lights and let's try doing that. All right, let's get that background blocked in, like I said. Take some ultramarine and transparent red oxide. It's very dark. All right, let's look at these shadows again. In the end, I don't know, how I'll feel about them, but anyway, again, the idea behind this is to work quick and to, in the end, maybe have a loose painting that's interesting. Top of that's way up there. Just mixing up kind of a gray color here with the three primaries. Still working on my little 4x4s for my shows that are coming up. Done some cute ones. I'm just smearing color around over here. Might have to get more white out. I just got a mess of color on here. We'll use that same mixture and we'll put a little more yellow in it for down here. I actually set this right on the edge. I think I'll pull it back a little bit. step back from it. Yeah, if you look around, hydrangeas come in all colors. I really do like that little touch of crimson I see in there. So I'd add a little more color to that. I think it'd be prettier. As though I like to go down into there a little more. Of course, that does give it more of that kind of butterfly shape. That's kind of what I got there, though. I got one here, and a big one there, basically. I think maybe I won't. I was going to say maybe I'll turn off the overhead light, but I don't think so. Let me get that other rubber knife. I like it better for more detail. This one. Like I said, I already got the one stem, and then we kind of suggested a few others. been a half an hour. Kind of echo in the shape of the flowers. All right, what do we think of that? Is it loose enough? And then you could always go back in and they are big, beautiful flowers. Last year, my neighbor behind me, she had an outside wedding almost in our backyard. Her son got married, and I offered her, you know, they were just drying out like this. I said, come cut them all off. She turned me down. I mean, she could have made a gorgeous basket, you know. But she had her flowers all set, you know. She had made all these dried arrangements. But wouldn't these have been a gorgeous setting there, a big basket of these? So I got yellows, I got whites, I got pinks. I was trying to make them interesting. Yeah, as they fade away, they really change colors, don't they? Just trying to see if there's anything else I could do to, you know, add more interest to it. I don't know if I like that. I see a bit of a light reflection down there. All right, I turned the overhead light off because I was trying to see what reflections I see without it. You know, I don't actually see that one, but I was trying to add some interest to it. Oh, I'll tell you one thing I don't have in here is the water line, which is actually a little bit darker, which I wouldn't have to have at all. Let's turn the light back on. Didn't change much. I like painting glass. Sometimes you end up with these cool reflections. Like back in here, there's a real warm color. We'll kind of put some of that in. All right, I'm gonna quit pecking with it. I'm gonna quit picking at it and take a look at it. That was 35 minutes. Fast and furious, right? Just taking a good look at it here. Let me back you up and we'll put our mat on it. Put you right in front of it. Warped mat, but you can tell pretty good, right? All right. Try something quick like that. Set a timer and do a quick painting. See what you get. That wind always there. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. Let me get you right in there, and you can kind of see all that gooey, ooey paint. So it's fun and out of control, and I like a lot of things about it. I'm not sure it's perfect, but all right. Thanks for joining me. Happy Sunday, and watch for me soon. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.